Who will be our tournament leader, head and shoulders above the field? Let's find out in the hands of Marshall and Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Mira. Welcome back to the booth here at Pro Tour Final Fantasy. Marshall Sutcliffe with Paul Cheon. Paul, we had a chance in our earlier round that you and I covered, round 1 of draft here today, to see Connor Mackenzie kind of clean up the mess there with green, white, and we both really liked the look of that deck. Turns out he made it to the pod final.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best green-white decks that I've seen. Super streamlined, double-digit number of uncommons on color. That's exactly where you want to be in this format. So Connor's deck looks incredible. Ian's looks solid, but he does have a very, very difficult matchup here.
Yeah, there's Ian. Ian is on red-black, it looks like. Little splash for, one of my favorites, Side Quest card collection.
Yeah, no, great card. That card actually has been overperforming. I thought it was just an okay card. You're never up a card, but the thing is, it turns out it's pretty easy to actually complete the quest on that one and just get a 4/4 flying vehicle. But Ian's Robb is far more controlling, kind of that Grixis Mages deck.
Look at Connor, just turn 1 Saz's Chocobo every time we've seen him, which is twice. Also won the die roll, as you can see.
Yeah, and a turn 2 Torgal, so if Connor can just find any threat on the following turn, it's going to be a lot here. And you know the crazy part here? Ian has a Poison the Waters. I think it's going to miss. Oh. No creatures,
one extra
right?
card, but yeah, you're right.
So,
wow.
I mean, that is the downside of playing an effect like Poison the Waters, where sometimes, I mean, turn 2 you expect it to hit.
Right.
But in the late game, sometimes its utility kind of runs out.
No waters to be poisoned there for Connor. Land drops aplenty.
Oh, and he found
and he drew summon Chocomog.
Oh,
Are you out of your mind? Ian Robb must just be like, you've got to be kidding
brutal.
me.
This is 6 damage coming in on turn 3 on the play.
Down to 13. Ian has not cast a relevant spell. This would help a little bit at least.
Probably sacrificing the Torgal here. You just want more damage coming in, no creatures to play. Chocomog represents 4 additional points of damage.
Yeah, Chocomog stays around long enough to just almost be considered a real creature.
Right.
Certainly enough to pile on a ton of damage here.
Connor did find another land, so he does not have more action here. So does need to close out the game before Chocomog expires.
Does he allow a chump here? He normally
Yeah, that's
would,
a great
but
question.
There are times when you need to just get in there.
Because the Slash of Light's not really going to kill too many other things. You have to think, right?
And it's so much damage, though. As it stands, he gets the best of both worlds here, as Ian does not block.
So now Ian has the ability to play Namazu Trader, drew the 4th land here, or reinforcements to gain a bunch of life. But the 3/4 sizing is very, very nice against Summon Chocomog because it doesn't pump itself.
This is just precarious. You're down to 5 because you lose 1 life with the Trader.
Right, okay. This is a big turn for Connor.
If the Trader is gone...
Yeah. I mean, the Chocobo will be able to attack. The question is, do you just Slash of Light the token, play a land? Oh yeah, then the Trader actually has to block the Chocobo on the right. That means Chocomog gets in for 3 points of damage, putting Ian down to 2 with no board.
You have to do that. And you still have your Saz's Chocobo left over.
Right, there you go.
So
Back
there
with
it
both.
is.
Ian down to 2.
This is 5 power, right? Yeah, a block. Yeah, take 3, go 2.
All right. So Chocomog will be gone.
Ian has to have an answer or a blocker. But if he does, he could definitely stabilize from here.
Right? I mean, there's a Mysidian Elder. That's 2 creatures.
Hey, that's going to make it very difficult for the Saz's Chocobo to actually get through.
Yeah, so that's just...
And when, you know, normally you'd be nervous at 1 against an aggressive deck, but this is green-white.
Yeah, is there any way to give this trample or something? Because that's what...
That would do it.
Oh, and it's another land, okay.
Wow, this actually could swing back towards Ian. He's going to have a lot of time here.
I mean, this Chocobo is eating something
wow.
every
He has
single
Vincent
turn.
Valentine as well.
Yeah.
That's the kind of card that can turn around a game very quickly. And he has Fight On, so he can just sort of produce
endless chump blockers. Fat Chocobo, if Connor has that in his deck, would be absolutely huge here.
I'm going to look. I have to know.
I assume he does. He's got everything.
He's got 1.
Yeah. Now, Vincent Valentine on this board with no removal, like, it's going to be really hard to kill that Chocobo. Won't necessarily grow. And Connor top decks Fate of the Suncrest here. do you just fire that off on the Vincent Valentine, or do you just wait? Because if Ian attacks with the Vincent Valentine, it does attack as a 3/2 lifelinker. But I mean, if Ian goes to 5, that's fine, right? It's like, if you want to attack me, that's fine.
That's
you go to 5, and then if you play another creature, I have Fate of the Suncrest to kill that creature for a lethal attack. The issue is Ian has a Shinra's Reinforcements.
It looks like he's not going to mess around here.
Right.
But again, there are so many.
Oh.
And an Ahriman there. Finally, a way to actually get in the way.
I imagine he's going to play
Just play
both.
this and Reinforcements.
Yeah, Reinforcements and Ahriman here.
This still keeps you alive through a removal spell.
Yeah, Death Touch, this is huge. Connor needs to find a way, maybe a Slash of Light, some way to get the Death Touch creature off the battlefield, maybe a Chocobo. Oh, it's another, wait.
Summon Chocomog.
Chocomog does not get it done.
No, it does not.
All right, Ian has turned it around here.
Seriously stabilized now, because the suplex can kill the Chocomog if Ian even wants to, and then Fight On can reload, including some pretty powerful stuff that's in the graveyard.
Oh, just attacking here.
What?
Happy with this trade.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. All right, and well, now we got the suplex here with, I imagine there's not an extra Ahriman in Ian's hand, right? I think it's, or maybe he's got a second one?
Well, let me look.
No, I don't think he's got a second.
You're right, he only has one. So that's something else.
All right, just doing it now. Vincent.
Gonna get Vincent and Ahriman.
Yeah. Okay, holding the
and
suplex.
just play it, okay.
Yep.
It is difficult on one card to get through 2 creatures, especially when Connor's really shown that he doesn't have a removal spell in hand right now. So this is pretty safe. The question is if, or when the Chocomog comes in, are you trading it for the Ahriman? You just have to?
Yeah, I think you just kind of have to attack. You know, honestly, this is kind of the issue that I've been running into when I play these white-green decks, where you just kind of run out of action, and there's not too many ways to get ahead on cards. So if your opponents can turn the corner through your aggressive start, the games look a lot like this.
And there's a suplex for Garnet.
No, that exiles, so I don't think it triggers. That shouldn't trigger, right? I thought, does Vincent Valentine trigger off of death?
Let me look real quick.
Because I'm pretty sure suplex is an exile effect.
It is. Whenever a creature in opponent control dies.
It wouldn't get counters.
Yeah, you're right.
That's really, really big. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm surprised both players missed that.
Okay. I mean, I think Ian is pretty...
Wow.
Wait, they exiled it and got counters?
He remembered that it was exiled, but...
Okay.
Well,
now it's large.
Somehow that happened.
Yep.
It really could matter.
Absolutely.
Because that's kind of the name of the game for Vincent Valentine, is to get those counters rolling and then start attacking. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead.
Yeah, suplex, both effects exile.
Right.
Right.
I like that. It makes it easy. You're just
right.
You know what to do.
You cast it in it. All right, Ian playing a defensive-minded strategy here. Now Chocomog just goes away, so it's really hard for. Oh, trigger on the stack, drew the ambrosia there.
Yeah, so Connor can bounce it and then replay the Chocomog, can have it around for a bunch of more turns, but it's still looking difficult for Connor to actually get through for damage.
Yeah, can't attack through that Vincent Valentine. Now, if that Vincent attacks, it would also gain Ian a ton of life.
Especially with those 2 counters.
With the counters.
It's such a huge difference between a single block and a double block.
It absolutely is. I mean, I can see how you could make that mistake, right? You just think it's a removal spell and you do it, but yeah, it's...
Well, I can too, except for that then it got exiled. It's kind of, you can't have both.
Right.
Right? And we see it here.
Yeah. That's 2 extra points of damage. This normally would have been a 3/2 attacking.
Right. Now it's a 5/4 trample lifelink.
And this thing is basic. Like, when it's flipped, you just can't really kill it.
Right.
It just comes back on the other side.
Well, you can exile it,
You
theoretically.
Well, not anymore. Not with suplex.
Or just not in this game, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I'll let you in.
So
and
Chocomog.
Zapfair is going to pick up the counter and the indestructible.
Triple.
But you know what? Ian's fine with this because that's
Yeah, I gain 5.
5 life gain,
Yep.
and you still get Vincent back minus, or with the counter. Is it exile? Yeah.
That's correct.
Return it to the battlefield, tapped front face up.
Yeah, but you don't keep the counters.
Right. So why
Why are there counters still on it? It goes to the graveyard.
It still
right?
goes to the
Then
graveyard.
it comes
You
back
just
into
get
play.
it back. Yeah. So
Okay,
this
so there's-
well, it's a little awkward because there's 3 different ways that transforming happens. Sometimes it just transforms on the battlefield. Sometimes it gets exiled and comes back.
Yeah.
In this case, it triggers when it dies.
Right. So it doesn't.
So it has died.
It's super hard to kill, but you do lose the counters. Otherwise,
You
it would
absolutely
just be far
lose the-
too ridiculous.
Right. It's already ridiculous,
Yes,
right?
Agreed. Wow, that's 2.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Well, at least we caught
I'm
that
sorry,
one.
my brain's thinking. Yeah, no worries. Yep, I apologize.
Ian apologizes, though. There should be some game state warnings flying around.
I mean, that is a big.
Yeah, the way that it usually works in situations like that is that you'll receive a warning for, even if it's somewhat innocuous in the sense of like it didn't affect the game in a huge way. This actually has, but
Yeah.
even when it hasn't, and it's, warning doesn't, you can get 3 or 4 of them.
Dion.
Wow.
Has hit the battlefield
Okay, that's a
here.
game changer.
Yeah, that certainly is. If Ian doesn't find an answer, Connor's at a very healthy life total here. You flipped a Dion, and that can turn this around. Ian digging now with the Ariaman, looking for a removal spell for this Dion.
Right, even at 10 life for Ian, that is under threat thanks to the flying that Dion gives.
Draws a Marlboro.
1 card left in hand,
Yeah, it's probably a land, you have to assume.
and it's a plains.
Yeah. So, as purists out there, we're hoping the 2 points of damage is not important here, right?
Right.
Because Ian should be at 8 life here.
All right, well, Galleon Beast back into the red zone. Connor's just going to take it. Connor wants to maintain his board state as much as possible. Trying to set up perhaps a couple of turn win in the air. There's the Marlboro.
All right, this is a good amount of damage coming in. And then now Ian can actually use Midgar to sacrifice the Galleon Beast. It'll come back into play the other way, and you draw 2 cards.
Wow.
Getting a lot of value here.
Jeez. And I think he may have found 2 lands there.
It looks like it. Probably wants to play the blue land here. Unless he already played a land for turn.
Maybe so.
Maybe he already did. Okay, so this is a good amount of offense coming in. The Dion plus the token is 7 damage, right?
Yeah, Chocomog.
With the Chocomog
going. Yeah. Connor's taking a look at Dion for the other side.
Yeah, so if you want to use the other side, you can't actually attack with the Dion. It is a tap effect. So it's 6 mana tap. You exile the Dion. Then you return it to the battlefield as a nice 5/5 flyer and put a +1/+1 counter on each other creatures you control. Those creatures gain flying until end of turn.
Yeah, it acts as kind of a overrun style effect.
All right, so now everything has flying, including the Chocomog. So this is a good amount of damage coming in. Did Connor play a land for the turn? Because that would also turn make the Ambrosia even bigger. Now there is an Ariman that can chump here. And I do not think Connor is in danger of dying on the crackback here. So I imagine there's going to be a very, very large attack here. And Dion itself cannot attack, because the Dion was exiled and then entered the battle.
Has somebody sickness right now.
Not extra sleeves.
So let's see.
Like damage.
I'll see if I can get some replacements.
Thank you.
So all the other creatures have +1/+1 and flying, and there's a Chocomog activation. So if Connor plays a land, that would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Are those 2 +1/+1?
I guess so. Does the
How is there a
Chocomog
second
have
one?
2 counters on it?
How did it get the second one? That would? Oh, it's not lethal though because of the Ari Man, of course. And if something dies, remember, Vincent Valentine grows. Right? Vincent Valentine would get gigantic and would be able to attack back for a ton of damage with a bunch of life.
Lifelink.
The thing is, the Vincent Valentine's going to grow next turn anyways, because once that Chocomog goes into the graveyard, right, all of a sudden you're just getting a bunch of those counters.
I think Connor just passed.
Wow.
These sleeves are cool.
Going to maintain patience.
I think thinking maybe next turn, because Dion can attack next turn, right? So maybe I have a lethal attack next turn with the Dion. Because Dion itself does have flying. And note that Dion itself does not have a +1/+1 counter. That is just the chapter on the saga.
Okay.
All good? And shuffle turn or shuffle?
They're maintained the order, so you don't need to shuffle.
Shuffle turn.
All right, so Ian had 2 lands in hand. What is the last? Oh, it's another land. All right, that is not ideal here for Ian. Tough attacks here as well. The creatures are just far too big. I think you just do that just to gain some life. I think that's all Ian's doing here, just because Connor can just block.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what happened. The judge had Ian's deck there. Maybe there was a sleeve that needed to be changed out, and then Ian asked about shuffling it. Very strange. At any rate, we see Galleon Beast for the 3rd time crashing in.
Right.
And the Ahriman
And we'll sacrifice a draw card. Sure.
ready to do stuff, which it's
Oh,
going to
and
do.
Connor, I think, just took it here. Okay. And another, wait, no, that's a Vane's Treachery.
Oh, wow.
Vane's Treachery, that's so big.
This -6/-6.
Sack this and kill your
Wow.
flyer. So I think what happened is that
5 counters.
Connor
Do you
blocked
get
with
5
the
counters? Hold on. Doesn't it get
Or is
-6,
it-
-6?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Okay, goodness. Let's not
Jeez, yeah,
go too
guys.
crazy with this Vincent. Oh my goodness.
I think that Connor blocked with the summon Chocomog, and then he just sacked it before,
Got it.
it didn't die.
Okay. So this is gonna die, and that one did have counters on it. So Vincent Valentine will grow here. 6/6, I think. But no, he had 2 counters. He had 2 counters on it.
5/5, I think.
So
Because it pumps others, right?
right. So it would. So does Vincent not get counters?
He would then, right? So I understand it.
This will just be the Vincent Valentine game.
Whenever a creature opponent controls dies, put another +1.
Yeah. So Chocomog died. So
What is going on?
That's 5 counters on
Yes.
Vincent Valentine.
Is there maybe a trigger on the stack?
No, he's
He's just
tapping
doing
his
stuff.
mana and
Okay.
stuff.
Well, I guess
All
you're
right.
allowed to miss that one?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess so. All right. Play on.
Wow. Funny enough, both players are just have lands.
This is such an odd game here. Oh, Ian drew Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier.
Ian has Sephiroth too?
Yeah, I think there are 2 Sephiroths in the draft.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. What, do you sacrifice anything? Nothing really to sacrifice here, right?
Attack and trigger.
Yeah.
Yep. 4 damage, I will be.
So the vehicle got awoken there, then blocked the 3/2 attacker, but before damage,
Right.
Ian's going to sacrifice it to the Ahriman, which is going to trigger Sephiroth.
Yep. So now you can drain your opponent for 1 as well. And this is just a nice little card advantage engine now with Sephiroth in play. And
Item shop
if you can ever flip the Sephiroth, it's just game over.
Right.
Yeah.
You need 4 triggers in one turn.
I'm in that
Just
one.
that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Here, so I make sure.
What can Connor draw at this point? It just seems
Yeah.
like the defense. He had the opportunity with that Dion,
was
but that
it.
Vane's Treachery was such a big draw for me and Rob.
Yeah, that Dion was the type of card that can get a green-white deck from being pretty far behind or needing something. I mean, remember when Ian was at 1?
Right.
Like, he's at 14 now.
So much life gain.
And it's not going to get better either.
Snowvilliers.
Yeah,
not
that's
enough here.
just power and toughness.
So draw a card, drain you for 1, keep digging.
Draw a card.
Yeah, so now Ian's going to be gaining life, draining, and drawing multiple cards per turn at the bare minimum.
Yeah, at some point he's going to find a removal spell. Oh,
there's
and
one right now.
One of the best ones in the entire set. The side quest here is so powerful. And this is going to grow the Vincent Valentine. Oh my God, what's the power on that thing? 4?
On what?
The
Oh,
Snowvilliers.
yeah, it is 4.
So that's 4 counters on Vincent Valentine plus a drain. Then you get to attack, flip, and attack it with a 7/6 trampling lifelinker here.
Attack.
Oh, and Arimon's getting in too.
Yeah. And this is 1 creature. Also, keep in mind, Sephiroth does flip if 4 things die.
That's right.
Go to 7, 23.
So if O'Connor's at 2, you just sacrifice 2 things, and
Yep.
I think that's it, right?
Yep.
Can I spin that? Sure.
Okay.
Yep, sure. Then now you get a treasure. Yeah, this is. All
Well,
right.
but end of game 1.
I mean,
Wow.
I did it just in case. I mean,
That is
example of how busted
an
all
impressive
comes.
victory
Yeah.
there from
I
Ian.
got that picks. I got
That
who
was a
found
game.
himself up against
super
really
weird.
a
It was just
perfect
like,
curve out from Connor. And all the way down to 1 life,
Table
climbed
out,
his way
let's
back
start
all the
game
way.
I mean, Ian's deck has so much power. We're talking about Sephiroth, Vincent Valentine, bunch of nice removal spells as well. So, you know, if he just can survive the super aggressive starts that Connor's deck is capable of, I kind of like Ian's side.
Definitely.
But of course, we know what Connor's deck is capable of, and if he
Right.
gets those hyper aggressive draws on the play, it is tough.
He was so close in that first game.
I imagine Vane's Treachery will just get fired off here on the token.
Yep. So summon Chocomog just by itself, not
Yeah.
maximized. It's
No.
okay, but are we going to see Sephiroth here? No.
Nope, just a nice little 3/2 to trade with.
What
the
is that,
Chocomog.
Paul? What is that card?
The Forayer.
The what? What for here?
It's the 2 and a black 3/2
Come
and exiles
on.
cards from graveyard.
Q-Trub.
Yep.
Q-Trub?
We can play this game all day.
It's hard to win that game.
Yeah.
I say Q-Trub for air. That's more or less filler for Ian.
Yeah, this is
Okay, back-to-back Chocomogs, and are we going to see a trade? No, with the Sephiroth in hand, you might want to do your trade in a
right.
little
Because
later.
once the trade happens, then you drain your opponent for 2 damage.
Right, and there it is, Sephiroth on the battlefield.
Pass you.
Right. Connor needs
Very difficult to manage.
a white aura site here. Would be great. Maybe a cheap creature plus a slash of light.
Yeah, I guess that would be a reason to block.
Yeah,
Oh, and there is a slash of light, but no
but look
cheap
at the hand.
creature.
This is brutal here. 2 5-drops and a slash of light. It's not enough. The thing is, you kind of still just want to attack with the choke. Now you can just go slash of light on the Forayer, I guess.
You could.
Just because once the Chocomog dies, all of a sudden your slash of light gets even worse.
4-3,
Okay.
down to 12.
Ian goes, okay, well, it's going to die next turn, so I'm fine taking this damage. Ian looks very far ahead here. Ooh, Trader
That's a
into
number 2 Trader.
possibly just running out Poison the Waters here too with the treasure.
You discard an artifact creature.
Yep,
Yep.
you're right. And that will probably take Graha Tia.
Yeah, because that's the one you can that Connor can play with any land off the top, whereas
Right.
the Renoa Heartily requires a forest off the top.
Yeah, Renoa, a better card here. So perhaps if Ian isn't concerned with Graha Tia kind of at all,
Right.
then he could take Renoa. He also, yeah, he's just going to take the kind of solid pick here,
Right.
which almost guarantees a planes off the top of the library for Connor if you've ever been in his seat before.
Forayer getting in. Yeah, you have to be loving Ian's spot at this point.
Looking really good to pick up a victory here. And I'll remind you, these players are both sitting with a 9-1 record. The winner of this is going to be at 10 wins. 10 wins is 2 away from a guaranteed slot in the top 8 if they can win it in the next 4 rounds.
Right. So this is very, very big match. excellent decks on
match.
both sides. Although I would say the Chocomogs are the worst cards in Connor's deck. And just drawing
He's drawn
multiple
a
of
lot of
those. And just like sometimes when you just need a 3-drop, you got to play a 3-drop. His deck doesn't really go particularly wide either. It's just decent creatures that you just play on curve.
You see Dragoon's Lance.
Ooh, oh, that
With
is
the
actually
top deck.
great. That is an answer to Sephiroth.
Oh, you're right.
You
It
play
gets you
Dragoon-
both,
It
doesn't
gives you
it?
an artifact and a creature here. Why did he attack first?
Yeah, that's risky.
You can just play the Lance and then use Slash of Light. That's 3 damage on Sephiroth. No, don't pass.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Is he just biding his time?
Well, the thing is now, if imagine Ian had an instant speed removal spell,
Oh, I can't even.
and you just get completely blown out.
I can't even stomach the thought, Paul.
Remember, Slash of Light counts both your creatures and your artifacts, which is why it works so well with the job select cards in the format.
Yeah, number of equipment plus creatures.
Right, equipment. I mean, honestly, this could also just be one of those frustrating situations, right? You just draw all planes, and you just...
All right, he's going for it. Oh, wow.
Why would you wait?
Oh, maybe he didn't see it straight away because that was very risky.
You got 13?
But it worked. Sephiroth is dead.
Yeah.
Keetrip Ferrers is dead.
But Ian has the fight on here, so he can just get it back.
Oh, man.
So it probably
Really?
just really didn't matter very much.
And he can go Namazu Trader and
Into
then
a fight
cast
on
Fight
in
on if he
turn.
wants.
Yeah. And the Chocomog dies here, so
Yes.
no fear of taking any damage here.
Yeah, so the Lance is just sitting by itself as the token traded off. Finally a green source, but it's a tapped green source. Are you kidding me?
All right.
So he got back Ferrers plus Sephiroth.
Gain a bunch
Now,
of life.
Shinra reinforcements. Oh, man, this is very difficult for Connor. He's going to need to see Dion or a couple of really good things. Renoa into Dion, something like that. His life total's just fallen too low.
Okay, just play out the Sephiroth and just pass. Ultima, but I don't think Connor would even play Ultima in a deck like his.
Right,
so.
exactly. Yeah, that's just where your brain goes when you're so far behind.
So Renoa Hertali.
Renoa plus token.
Plus a token. So what happens if Ian attacks with everything? 2 of the 3 power creatures would get blocked. There's also the Forayer. You could play the Forayer and sack it and attack, and that's an extra drain too.
Yep.
All right.
So that's 5 coming across.
And then Sephiroth
plus
dies.
another 1.
No, there's 2 drain triggers,
2
right?
drain triggers, so
that
that's
should be lethal.
7.
Yeah.
One after Sephiroth trigger.
Yep.
I go to 11.
Oh, maybe the Sephiroth doesn't count itself?
Oh, right. So it's 1.
It's combat. I will just destroy.
So my question
And
is,
that
why
thing
not
took
play the
damage.
Forayer first, attack with Sephiroth, and sack the Forayer for an extra drain?
Yes.
Right, that would just be lethal.
That would be lethal.
Okay.
I suppose there was some unknown information. Summon Fat Chocobo, and that's not going to get it done, though. Ian Robb picks up the victory, and Ian has 10 wins and 1 loss as he transitions over to the standard portion of the tournament. If Ian can pick up just 2 more wins, that will be a locked top 8, as in no tiebreaker, no sweat, no nothing.
And what an incredible run Ian has been on now. He is in such good position to go back-to-back Pro Tour top 8s. That is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, really great run here forming for Ian Robb as, again, he's transitioning over to standard. We're going to take a short break here from Vegas, but when we come back, we've got more Magic lined up for you. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to coverage here at Pro Tour Final Fantasy. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. I'm with Paul Cheon, and we're in Las Vegas, Nevada, playing some Magic. We've got high-level competitive play over here at the Pro Tour, but any type of Magic that you enjoy, you will find it here at MagicCon. We get a chance to walk through every once in a while, and it is overwhelming. So many people playing and enjoying our game in so many different ways. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're a fan of Booster Draft, like we are, you're in luck. There's still a little bit left to go here. We're in round 3 of the Booster Draft here on day 2, and we've got the great one, Bob Maher, Hall of Famer, playing against Thirawat Chaovarindr. And both of these players are on an 8-2 record. I said, how does Bob do it? He even said in an interview yesterday that, you know, he was like, I'm going to take a couple of weeks and I'm going to really prep so I don't embarrass myself with my invite. He got super busy at work, wasn't able to prep. He's still 8-2.
Well, I mean, there is a reason why he is in the Pro Tour Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
He's had a ton of success back in the day. So, you know, a lot of the, you know, how to sequence, how to draft, what to do, those basics, Bob still has all of that.
Yeah, and for players of Paul and I's generation, you know, Bob was one of the original really great players. And if you have an inclination to, you can find videos of him playing back in the day with some incredibly entertaining, weird matches that he played back in the day against some of the greats for Pro Tour glory. We're in game number 2 here with Thirawat up a game over Bob. Triple red. Okay.
He is playing mono red in the standard portion. It looks like he's is mono red an archetype that we
No, mono black is the only one that we've seen or that I've heard of.
Right. Probably
but
a
who
Boros
knows?
deck. There's a Furion in play, which is very, very good in the red-white equipment deck.
That's right, and there's a Plains to complete the circle here.
Yeah, if you get like a Warrior Sword going this turn, could potentially mean lots of damage here for Thirawat.
Lock Cole for Bob Maher. And by the way,
there is a Warrior Sword.
There is.
So the way that this works, oh, it looks like he's just going to kill the Lock Cole.
Are you checking out the mana for Bob? He's almost got turn 5.
Oh, domain.
Full natural if he's got himself.
Does he have the Plains?
Forest. Oh, is that a forest behind the swamp?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There's 4 basic lands in play.
No, I know. I thought it was a Plains. All right, so Plains? No. All right, well, he's going to go get another swamp, so that dream is dead. But
very slow hand here for Bob. I saw Quistis, but that would not be enough to do anything here. There's a Thunder Magic on Thirawat's side, but of course it's a 3/3. So this, I mean, if Thirawat plays out this Warrior Sword that we saw in the hand, this is going to be an attack for 7.
There it is. Not good news, Bob. Oh, man, somebody in chat just said, is Bob Maher older than the game itself?
Yes.
Yes.
We all are. Like, are you kidding me?
I guess we all are. That's true. Or most of us are.
If somebody types in the
Not
chat
the
that it came out in the 1900s, like, I'm done. Like, we're leaving. We're calling it a career.
So the way Furion works here is you get to make a copy of the equipment here.
It's so ridiculous.
And so the creature gains haste. And then you have to sacrifice the equipment end of turn.
How much?
But you get the...
But you get to keep... You get to keep the token. So that was just... And you got to haste out the tokens. That was so much. Bob's at 6.
Bob's nearly dead.
Like, if Thirawat just has another equipment here, I think Bob's just dead.
Xenos?
Xenos would kill 1 token, I suppose. There's a 4/3, a 3/3, and a 1/1.
Oh, Furion's a 3/3.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness sakes.
Yeah, Bob needs a cheap
and that was
creature.
my dream scenario. I don't even know if Bob has that card.
I see a Chocobo kick and a Quistis. Maybe you can do something like Quistis the Thunder Magic, kill the 1/1, and then Chocobo kick the Furion, right? And then all of a sudden you're just dealing with a Warrior Sword. I mean, that's something. There's a Gladiolus in hand, but I'm pretty sure if you play Gladiolus, you just die. Right? Like, you play Gladiolus if Thirawat has a removal spell, a combat trick, or another equipment with 4 cards in hand, you're just done. So I kind of like trying to clear the board here if I can. No ability to play Chocobo Kick twice with the Quistis.
Chat asking, is this the Bob who Bob is named for? Yeah.
The original
him.
Bob.
It is. Dark Confidant. All right, Quistis Trepe.
Yep.
Kill a token.
Yep.
Kick.
Kill the Furion. Yep. Pick up a land.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that was.
Do we have a game again, or?
I mean, that was the line that was his only line that was available here.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh, threat.
And that's going to be it. Wow. Thirawat Chaovarindr. That's the threaten effect in the set. It steals the opposing creature. Very aggressive deck there for Chaovarindr, and he's going to improve to 9-2, and that's going to knock Bob Maher down to 8-3. But still an excellent result for both players coming out of the draft and transitioning back over to standard.
Yeah, absolutely. So now at 9-2, you have a really good shot at top 8, and one more win also gives you a spot into the Pro Tour, into the next Pro Tour. So really, really good finish there, and also just defeating a Hall of Famer in the process.
So we've got one more match to bring you of Booster Draft before we kind of wrap up Limited for the weekend. We've got Masahide Moriyama versus Edgar Magalhaes, and as you can see, they are also with an 8-2 record. You know, our main match, they were at 9-1. So even the loser dropped down to 9-2 and is still in really good shape. But this is super important. There's a big difference between 8-3 and 9-2 coming out of this last round with your hopes for top 8, particularly because of what I talked about before, where you're trying to get to that 12th win, which means that you're just in the top 8. And, you know, if you have 9 wins, you're thinking, okay, if I can win 3 of the next 4, I just lock it up. Game number 3, by the way, between these two.
Game 3.
All right, Plains. One thing I have noticed a lot from watching the Japanese players play here. Oh, turn 2 Cloud. Get an equipment. Very, very strong if you can run that out turn 2. Is they actually, a lot of them like the very aggressive white strategies. Everybody's talking about the control decks, the blue-red decks, everybody's favorite, or the Towns decks. But
all the smart people are talking about those decks, I agree.
But you know, I asked Shuhei Nakamura, I said, what do you like in this format? And he was just like, I like the aggressive white decks. Totally. I want to beat down. I want to kill everybody really quickly. Everybody's going to fight over, play all their tap lands, and I'm just going to kill them before they get their game plan going.
Yeah, that's what the actual smart people do.
Right.
They just get their opponent dead, and they don't really care about how many choices they had or how interesting it was. Cloud on 2 is really nice, though. Especially when you have one of the best uncommons in the set with Dragoon's Lance to go get with it.
Yeah, that is huge.
Land here would allow Magitech Infantry to start doing its thing. There it is. Generally speaking, depending on how many you have in your deck and in your hand, but you want to start activating it about as soon as possible.
Yep, unless you have a much superior 3-mana play.
Right.
We're talking about maybe a Rufus on turn 3, something along those lines.
Sephiroth.
Right.
Because we haven't seen enough Sephiroth
Not
here.
enough Sephiroths. Look at that. Cheeky.
Frisky attack there from
Dice
Edgar.
attack. Hey, there is a Rufus.
Hey,
there
Rufus
it is. Well, that is the reason not to attack with
you go.
Not to pass with the 3-mana. A free attack here in the air with Dragoon's Lance. Lots of lands. What is that? Ring of the Lucii?
Yeah, that's a weird addition.
In red-white, right?
I don't think I've ever seen anybody curve Cloud into Ring of the Lucii before, but here we are.
Oh, maybe Moriyama's got a Gilgamesh as well. That would be exciting.
We could see it next turn if so.
Yeah. Helps you equip all that colorless mana.
That's true. And you can use it, you know, as a not a defensive spell. Get something out of the way on tap, get something else out of the way, kill you.
16.
It is powerful.
I see at least 2 lands in Moriyama's. Wow, what a curve here from Edgar, by the way. 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop.
Jeez.
And his 3-drop and 4-drop just added extra permanence to the battlefield, and the Hectize has already got its card as well.
That's right, and then, you know, when he runs out of action, we're going to see the Magitech infantry start to go too. So this is
just so much to deal with. Hopefully Moriyama can ramp into something big here. I feel like if it was a Gilgamesh, he would have just played it already.
Probably, so. Yeah. There's nothing slowing that down right now.
16.
I see a Thunder
Ooh,
Magic.
Said go.
Yeah, I see a Thunder Magic in Moriyama's hand, but man, there are just so many things you have to kill. I imagine Magitech armor certainly going to be. It's the biggest creature, so maybe that's something you want to consider killing. But even if you do, I mean, we're talking about still taking, what, 2, 4, 6, 7 damage? Assuming we crew with a Hectize or a 1/1 token. Cloud can get in front of a Magitech infantry. Oof. Oh, and not attacking with the vehicle here because of all the mana that Moriyama is keeping up, thinking, well, you know what? You probably have a removal spell here. I don't want to leave my 4/4 vulnerable. I have clean attacks with just all my other creatures.
Totally. Also, awkward position there for Moriyama as you have to decide if you're going to use your ring.
Oh, and this is, yeah, and Edgar just getting a replacement infantry.
Sure.
If you want to be the aggressive white deck, there is no number of infantry, Magitech infantries that you can have too many of. I've seen 4, I've seen 6. I've been happy with all of them.
I've played 2.
Yeah, you definitely played the one. Like I don't think I play 1 unless I'm very heavy blue-white artifacts. Yeah, where I have a ton of 2-mana equipments. But yeah,
It's just very
you
stressful
play
to play 2 because you play 1 and then you're just like, don't draw the other one.
yeah. But if you think about it, if you're on the play, a 1-mana 2/1 is still just good in your aggro decks,
That's
right?
true. That's true. Okay, I think we're going to see
This is just
Thunder Magic for the full amount.
7.
What is it? Thundaga? Thundaga?
One of
Going with
those.
That.
Because I know Blizzaga. I know the blue one.
Yeah, same.
All right, well,
It is Thundaga.
Thundaga,
High
nice.
That's 7 mana to do 8 damage to anything.
What if Moriyama boarded in a fire magic?
Oh, God, don't
be a
even
good
say
one.
that.
Hill Gigas.
Okay. Is
Beat
it coming
down?
in? Yeah, he's going to try to set up a 2-turner. Oh, that's only 7.
7, maybe plus a combat check, and we do have the tapper. And how much damage can Edgar attack? Let's say you crew up the vehicle there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. And if he plays a creature and crews, that's only 10 damage.
Wow, this is an exciting game.
Yeah, it's like how
It's
aggressive.
like both players are okay with racing. Somebody has to be wrong.
All right, here we go.
Here they go.
8 damage. 9 damage coming in here from Edgar.
But what does Masahide have to enable that last turn?
A haste magic would be good. Because remember, the Ring of the Lucii can tap down a blocker
Right.
if Edgar plays one here. But if Edgar has a removal spell.
But Moriyama could have played a much more defensive stance. Let's see what he does.
Oh, Edgar's hand is loaded. I think I see a side quest there and a corner by Black Mages.
Yeah, I see that too.
Oh, and can go for the win here, actually.
Oh.
Vincent's Limit Break is in Edgar's hand, but he's just thinking, you have 2 mana up. Do you have something? Do I go for the kill this turn?
I feel like Edgar's read is that he doesn't, but he's just going, well, what if he does and I'm wrong? Right? Like, do I lose?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Does it just set me back
Yeah.
a little bit?
Right. This is a tough call here if you're Edgar.
Push it to the limit, Edgar. Let's go.
And at this point, Moriyama is thinking, okay, he must have a trick here, right?
Yeah.
There must be a pump spell.
So now he's looking at his card like, wow, it's a really nice removal spell for 2 mana.
Look at your hand, shake your head
Yeah.
confidently.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm good.
man, this is a really good card.
Feeling powerful.
Okay.
Little tear on the limit break here.
Got to keep a nice little poker face here. Oh, I think he's going for it.
He
4 mana.
needs 4 mana for the 7/2 version.
Yeah, the 5/2 version is enough to win the game
Ah,
here.
okay.
All right.
That's only 3 mana.
3, 4, 5.
It's lethal, and it's just a planes in hand, and Edgar picks up the victory, and he's going to improve to 9-2, as we mentioned, heading into the round there. How important that victory is. And did you catch that sigh of relief there from Edgar?
That was big.
He's like, I'm trying to look cool, but holy smokes, that's stressful.
Right.
And, you know, you never really know. You know, everybody that you play against has a different demeanor at the table, and it really does affect how people play. Some people feel like they just always have the thing,
right,
and they're always prepared for what you're going to do, and some people, it's the opposite.
Yeah, I think Edgar just probably looked at the previous play
Mm-hmm.
to determine what he wanted to do that turn, because he was thinking, okay, well, I made a really big attack the turn previously, right? And all Moriyama did was
Play Hill Gigas and attack.
no, deal. Excuse me. The turn before he dealt 8 damage to one of his creatures, indicating that he didn't have a double removal spell play that turn, right? So because of that, because if he had 2 removal spells, he would have used 2 removal spells that turn just to minimize the damage that he took. So he goes, well, since you didn't have it then, and then you played the Hill Gigas, it's like you had to have drawn a removal spell within those draw steps, and it's really unlikely that you did because you deployed the Gigas. I'm going to go for it. I imagine that's probably what he... And even then, he's thinking, okay, everything tells me that he probably doesn't have it.
Yeah.
But man, he's got 2 mana up.
But what if he does?
What if he does?
Yeah. Well, any thoughts overall, Paul, on the limited environment, what we took away from the weekend now that we're kind of transitioning back to standard here?
I mean, I mentioned it yesterday, but this format is amazing, and also you can just do anything.
Yeah.
We saw Robb take it down with a Rakdos control deck. We saw Mono Black kind of do its thing. And then now we see two aggressive white decks going at it in the last round. So really, anything is possible in this format, which means I have really high hopes for this format in terms of longevity.
That's what we look for, right?
We draft this format.
The first 20 drafts is going to be good no matter what.
Right, and for us, we're crazy. We like to draft the
Right.
format 40, 50 times, and I think this is going to be one of those formats where you can draft it that many times and still really enjoy it.
I think we are too. That's going to do it for us here in the booth for this round. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, though, we'll be back at the news desk to set up for Standard. We'll see you there.